Wowee. How did you know vodka? Nice cold energy drink? Ooh. We're gaming. We gotta use the powers of energy juice, right? Here, I'll move the microphone so that we can get the snap right there. I don't know if that picked up good. I saw the audio spike, so that's okay. And apparently my camera has me auto-centering, and center's over there. But hey, that's okay, because it's Extra Life Tabletop Weekend. And as you can see, I'm looking at the memes. If we're making Imperium stuff, we're gonna go for the heavy flamer. Because everyone always goes with the bolt gun or the chain sword or something like that. Nah, we're going big. We're making the silliest thing possible. So, we could do the Imperial Guard one. We could do the big Terminator style one. I don't know. I don't know if the camera will pick her up because of green screen stuff. Sisters of Battle, Heavy Flamer. Maybe we'll go with something like that. Either way, there's a lot of options for big, melty gun. Something good like that? Because basically what I was thinking for this one is because it's oversized and ridiculous, and Warhammer cosplayers are more likely to go and do the foam route, I think what I'm going to do is make a nice blobby, simple version that we can quickly throw into Pepakura, then go and make a highly detailed version for the maniacs that want to print something of this size and weight, because options are available. So, do we go with the full brother, get the flamer, the heavy flamer, right away? I think we go with the one that can be moved around by someone on foot, just to give the cosplayers a break and have some sort of option. So, let's get our reference image. The problem with grimdark stuff is, man, is that dark and you can't tell what's going on. So, let's find something. I wish I had one of those versions in front of me, but the closest we got is just the funny newer ones. So I think we're gonna have to just play the guess and check game with how big something is. Ooh, there we go. Kind of like a bolter, kind of like a flamer? Yeah, alright. That says Imperial on it, so it counts. Doesn't have the tank on it. But what we'll do... well, we're just gonna break the website. Awesome. Let's grab that. And we'll just go and start a whole new thing in our 40k land. Because, boy howdy, do I not do Imperium stuff. But the people voted. Fuel tank has room to place a monster energy can. Alright. Alright. So we need to do another search here. So we've got that one image there. And then we'll go grab one that also has a side-on view with the fuel tank. And instead of a skull, we just put monster energy right in there. I guess we'll take this Space Marine one, and I mean, it's not that difficult, right? It's just a funny revolve. Man, reference images are sure something in Warhammer land. Alright, we'll take this one. Because beggars can't be choosers. Heretic Flamer, you ain't seen nothing. Monster Energy logo. Then we get that. We get that. Perfect. Alright, that goes in there. Or are you saying that we store a Monster Energy within the fuel tank there, so that this basically just becomes a nice little refrigerator? Store the can in there. Alright. We can do both. Thing that I need to do, I'll bring up a chat monitor here so that I can actually pay attention and do some mod type stuff when the robots show up. Yeah. Words. Phrases. Do we want to do a guess and check thing? Should probably figure out how big this roughly is. So, we'll also grab this one because we need to know how big things are. We'll go do some cosplay scaling. I know how to type. We'll go to knife gun. And Animal Crossing New Horizons catalog. That's new. Alright. I'm gonna get distracted already. Okay. 40k. We're going to the Imperium. And we got a mini. We'll say there to there because he's on a funny angle. And then we'll add a line going there to there, roughly. And we will call this, oh geez, we'll call it 180 centimeters. So, boy howdy, is the heavy flamer 1.3 meters long. Fuels the cosplayer and fuels the prop? Alright. I was just thinking, what if we put a battery in there? But if we put Monster Energy, that works too. Alright. We're calling it 1.3 meters of heavy flamer. Beauty. Alright. We start where we always start and put in some sort of canvas. We will go to where we live in there and do our calibrate canvas and end to end of 1300 millimeters. It's a big one. That probably wants to be rotated slightly because I can tell that's not going to be square with anything. Oops. Closer. And since it's guess and check, that's pretty good to square. Pretty good. Okay. I guess we're off to the races here. So, like I said, we're just gonna do nice and easy and make this easy enough to unfold and do some good foam ability stuff here. This thing's gonna be massive, dude. I'm terrified. those. This is going to be probably the chunkiest thing I've made in quite some time. Now, let's be smart about this. Let's go look at some PVC. So we're in the 60mm ballpark already. So that's all in inches. Why do you do this to me? One and a half is 49 for outer diameter. Okay. 100% infill print. No, thank you. That's why we're looking at doing both a foam version Alright, what we can do, 2.375. So that will basically be a 2-inch PVC pipe. And we're doing 3 of those? Oh geez, this thing is going to be insane. We did say the heavy flamer. Pipework, that should be good for us there. Now, is that cheating overall for support material within the length of the prop? Oh heck yes it is. Look at that. We can just cheese the whole thing. It's going to be mostly hollow except for big PVC pipes all the way through. This is great. This is made for lazy cosplayers, right? Now, for these joins, do I want to be lazy about it? Probably. Because we'll just set those up so they can all revolve and make it simple for us there. Lazy cosplayers don't wear armor. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. There is definitely that caveat to the whole thing. But we're doing it... Oh, I can't even use my usual line of we're doing it for the greater good. I'm sorry. I was trained at a young age. Do the greater good, spacemans. Be the lesser of evils within the 40k universe. So, sad way. Oh no. Yeah, lazy armor is the... Well, I don't know. Lazy armor? Nah. No such thing. Let's do these revolves first and start figuring out how big things are in terms of width. I was going somewhere with that sentence. It's gone now. So, thank you for distracting me. I'm sure we'll get there in the end, but that's okay. It probably wasn't very insightful because we were talking about cosplay. Do I know a thing or two about cosplay? Maybe. Do I share it with other people? yeah, I guess, because I do stuff on Twitch, but eh? Doesn't mean I'm smart. Just means that I'm dumb enough to go on the internet and start talking about things with some attempt at an authoritative voice. Let's do a 30 mil one, and then figure out what the spacing is there. 26. So this probably wants to be a bit larger. Does that look right? Not quite. Better. Okay, heavy flamer. Let's do some trickery there. 21. So we'll go there. We'll go plus another 21, and we'll call it a new thing. Do I even need that? No, I don't think I do. Cool. So we'll also bring this, because we had it at a radius of 30. That feels right. So then that all becomes a shell that we need here. So we'll do that. Say that we're doing 10 millimeter foam, because that's pretty common. The good guy in the universe, I barely ever commit atrocities. Alright, do we go into the deep dive of 40k lore? Because, the Tau definitely are very expansionist, and some of the factions are very much cannibals, and somehow they're one of the ones that commit fewer atrocities. Don't worry about it. Oddguy, you'd really like the concept of the Groot in the 40k universe. Basically, they have their own faction leaders that are called the Shapers, because depending on what they eat, they inherit genetic traits and start to mutate because of it. So there's some creatures that are within their line that are considered genetic dead ends, and don't worry, they definitely treat those nicely. 100% don't just use them as pack mules and things within universe. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, exactly. You are what you eat. Atrocities for all. Sharing is caring. Dude, I gotta bring them up. Because they are really fun. Don't worry that they're called carnivores, and don't worry that they look very menacing. But the shtick behind them is that they can eat things from local flora and fauna and basically gain chameleon-esque powers over a period of time to blend in with the natural habitats that they then run into. Here's examples of their pack mules and what you have. Yeah, don't worry. Some of their brethren that went funny ways definitely just become horses or hunting dogs. Or, for the sake of Ziggy, they become big T-Rex creature. Groot from... Yeah, exactly. The wooden guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the one. they eat trees and then become the ones that say, I am Groot. Yeah. Big T-Rex. There's a lot of weird things like that in the 40k universe. Do we talk about how some of them didn't age well over time? Yeah, a lot of people kind of stick to that part, and it's concerning. But it's okay. I am Groot fan. Yeah, some? Yeah. You're right, Odka. Some people didn't get that it was satire of 80s action flicks. Some folks didn't get the memo. Now, what is this doing? Could I say it's doing its best? I don't know. Doesn't really feel like that's truthful. So we'll go something like that. It's only a drawing. Yeah. Yeah. What is going on here? Something in that ballpark? Yeah. We'll go with that. Okay, we got blobby shapes. Everything is good. That feels right. This is the autoest of CADs. If you are asking what program this is our Autodesk Fusion 360. If you're not asking what this is, yeah, it is automatic. It's auto magic. Would I save this? Maybe. Do something like that. Yes, Untitled. Alright. Big blobby shapes. This is going to be pretty alright to do Pepakura stuff, I think. Do something like that. And then something like this. And then just get rid of the noise here. And then we can put the monster energy in there. And just so that we have that, I'll hit save. And we're just calling it Guard Heavy Flamer. It's never too early to save. Sometimes it is. If you're going on vibes and it just doesn't feel right. So, we'll take those. How am I going to approach this? We'll do that. Is that the way? Is that how we do it? We'll try something like that. And then I guess do a funny little offset. Now, how do I want to do that? Let's split this with that, because we know we don't need this. No, that's probably the dumbest way of doing it. Something like that. Then we'll do better? Maybe? Vibes kidnapped my grandma. Don't trust Vibes. She probably deserved it, though. No. Bring back Grandma. Mima doesn't deserve that. Alright. Can I just duplicate that? Maybe. Will they overlap, though? That's the question. We'll just do that for now, and we will cheat. Better. And because those are kinda in the way, overlapping here. Better, I think. And are those at the same level? No, they're not. Let's try that. Yeah, we're doing Extra Life because today is tabletop weekend. In case I haven't shared with you, Ziggy, I'm also doing CovaCon next weekend, which is a delightful small event up in Courtenay, Comox, BC. And we're going to be bringing our own gacha machine to do special only at the event polls tied to Extra Life fundraising. So yeah, it's entertaining. Adventure. Try out things that we've never done before. Now, that feels like it's not big enough. Heavy flamer. Tied to the Extra Life stuff, I, in typical fashion, am doing the only charity event releases for some other funny things that have... Oh, we don't need to do that. Talking about funny Tau stuff, because I am terrified of GW in general and their legal department coming after people. I have all these funny things that are tied to the Warhammer 40k IP that never go on sale and only become available through charity donations. So, because I am for the greater good, we have Funny Rail Rifle from the Tau Pathfinders, the Pulse Rifle from the Fire Warriors, and the Pulse Pistol from literally whoever you can strap it onto. The exclamation point donate, I don't know if that works because I am a silly Billy that doesn't understand how to do chat commands all the time. So it might work. It might just horribly flail and give up immediately. Alright. I don't know how big that is. Does that feel like it would be too much for a hand grip? Ah! We'll just bring the ruler out and then just start making hand shapes around things. I guess the most important thing, though, actually, we gotta hold up. We gotta hold up. We're gonna hit save here. Everything's important. We gotta add the other canvas. We gotta make sure that the system works. Because this is a smaller earth flamer, but has, in theory, a similar hand grip. So we can overlap that to match roughly. And then we'll just move this tank onto there. Like so. And that exists there. And then we have a real world measurement. Ooh. Which video game? Do you have the Space Marine? Monster Energy can. 16 centimeters high by 7 roughly diameter. I'm even dumber. I have the calipers case right here. That's easier to get a diameter. Mark 1 eyeball's pretty close. So, now we can do the important thing. Is this... Oh, that's more than big enough. Okay. We might even be able to fit 2 monster cans in here. Happy days. Alright, we've got that. We've got this. $360 Space Marine. I think Odka is our resident Space Marine video game expert. Because I, believe it or not, have not played. When it comes to Warhammer video games, I lean more towards the Dawn of War and RTS side of the house. One day I play it as I deep dive. Yeah. The wonderful thing about Space Marine is it's its own contained little area, and it's fun. A lot of the Warhammer video games kind of just live in their own little world, and you don't have to ever concern yourself with the overarching story because, well, believe it or not, there's a lot of universe out there in Warhammer land. They basically just say, go pick a planet, go have fun. Can't we get along? The most important orc-based game is Dawn of War 2, where the whole conflict is because an orc thought an Inquisitor's hat was very fancy, and he wanted to claim it as his own. And in the end, that led to the planet being glassed and overrun by demons. It's a silly place. Yeah, dress up and yeah. The wonders of the Space Marine games. Just dress up your big fancy man, and away you go. Okay. So we need to remember that our fuel tank, once we get out of our Pepakura mode, we need to remember that we're going to add the Monster Energy logo onto this bad boy. Now, how wide does that feel too wide for the overall thing? The fuel cylinders seem to be... That should be fine, right? Irrespective of the nozzle. Yeah. The wonders of... You have to check to see if a faction in 40k is cool. Are these guys cool? Yeah, they're kind of cool. It's just the people that play them. It's a grab bag. 30 different Space Wolves groups because there's a whole DLC pack that is slightly different Space Wolves. Yeah. If that is not the story of 40k in a nutshell. It looks very cool. The wonders of some of their unique characters just being of the best sculpts in the game. Yeah. Is that... That looks better, right? Yeah, we'll go with that. But I guess the most important point for anything is, yeah, if you're just playing 40k, or even just collecting the minis, don't worry about it. Just enjoy it the way you want. I haven't played a full game in... Oh, geez. I don't even know at this point. It's been a while. I don't think it's even been like 7th edition. Because... Believe it or not, the Lord of the Rings stuff kind of took over my consciousness, and then Kings of War happened. Space Wolves DLC has a helmet that was an armored wolf, and oh no. They almost got you. Excuse. Okay. For the Space Marine game. What studio is that? Is that THQ like they've done before? Because I don't remember. An armored wolf head on my... Oh, yeah! Ziggy, are you enjoying the new Borderlands? Well, I guess that's not new Borderlands. Newish Borderlands. Saber Interactive are the NES that made the new next. Oh, okay. Relic Entertainment. Alright, who wants to end up on a watch list of some sort? What does a flamethrower nozzle look like? Literally just a mixing cone. Okay. So I guess we don't have to go too in detail. Wikipedia wouldn't lie to you. I sure hope they wouldn't. Is this where we go do a funny? Alright. How do I set up a poll on chat? What Wikipedia page are we going to go edit and see how long it takes to have it removed? Do we go to the Space Marine one? Alright. What developer do we want to be the ones that worked on this? It mixes fire and liquid fire, yeah. You say Borderlands 2 was a masterpiece, but I don't think we finished it. Even with the co-op one. I kind of just... Oolong, what distracted us from Borderlands 2? Was it Borderlands 1? Yeah. Okay. So Bethesda. How do we propose an edit? Start editing. Bethesda. Alright. Clearly, no one would spread misinformation on the internet. Halo Studios. Oh, we could do a big team run of the funny Borderlands. Now, how far out did I make this? Far out, man. we'll do these just a little tiered. And actually, is that one big block and I'm just silly who can't actually tell what's going on? Kind of is. Alright. Well, that breaks a lot. Does that make everything fall over? Not really. Okay, we'll keep doing this. Played the Telltale Borderlands game, really good, and maybe 5 minutes of one of the FPS ones. Alright, well, I mean, there's four of us in the chat who understand Borderlands at least somewhat. What if we do a movie night and watch Jack Black do claptrap things, and then we go play the actual game to wipe whatever that was from our memory? No, you don't want to ruin Claptrap. Believe it or not, actors can be multiple people. They're, well, people and robots, believe it or not. It's kind of a wild concept. Did you also know that Jack Black once did School of Rock and then reprised his role in Video Game, where he was Jack Black but brutal and legend? Alright, I'm sorry in advance that we're gonna have to watch the Borderlands movie. Oh, so this sounds like an important piece of information, that you may or may not have seen the Borderlands movie already. Which I guess makes sense, since you have clearly shared that yes, you are in fact a fan. There was a Borderlands gun that I wanted to make. Alright, we're going into the costume folder, because I definitely got references for it. Or did I not? Oh no. It was the Bane gun. It was the Bane gun. Just because I wanted to put a sound chip inside of the Bane gun. How do I do this? I have a real tough go there, I think. Funny artsy grips. Ziggy, you will love the Bane gun. Pretty sure it's one of those funny quest ones. And, yeah. Until you hear it. Now, is that enough? Oh, jeez. Remember how I said I was going to make something easy for foamsmiths to play around with? I might have lied. Let's see how this goes, though. Actually, it's probably easier to do it that way. And then we start curving things. Should be fine. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Foamsmiths are resourceful because of breathing in contact cement fumes. They can figure it out. I'd say wear your PPE. But, you know, that's your choice. Wait. If we do this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and then... What am I doing? This, that. Something along those lines. I might be a silly Billy. Let's do this first. It's not too bad. The heaviest flamer. Haha. Vodka. I know you're entirely correct in laughing at what I said, but like, come on, man. Join all of those, like so. Put in a funny little trigger here. And by little, that's huge. I don't know what's going on with the grip at the back there. That is something. I guess we'll do that and that. I guess it is the charity fundraising day. We can laugh at PP all we want. That'll work better. Something like that. All right. Fine. I won't do it that way. I'll do it the way that should not work, but does. That's starting to look like we're ready to wrap things up on this foam one. just need to do some sort of connection here. And then we'll be lazy like that, so that we have that joint there. And I think, okay, fine, I'll save. There you go. Let's just start doing some of the detailing type things here. So we have that raised section, that raised section, two sort of switches here. Funny rectangle that GW always puts places. Is that a slot? That's usually a slot, right? This that cuts into there. Whatever nonsense this is. And I don't think that'll make this too difficult overall. Now, how do I want to do this? That's... yeah. Okay. And I gotta remember that we're doing this low poly so that it can go out into Pepakura land. And then we can go start adding detail after. I guess this is the question for Odka as our resident expert foamsmith. Would it be easier to cut the holes in the shroud up front first, or just say, people can figure that out? haven't made patterns for foaming in quite some time. People can figure it out? Okay. Actually, I need to rethink that. That'll work. Now, for that hose, we need to... Oh, no, that's not right at all. Offset plane. So that gives us a path for the hose. Also weird in the sense that I print out the templates and then sketch over them to clean up curves and add details. Yeah. So I think all we have to add is extend those to make noozles. Next OddCon. Oh yeah, we do have to go to the foam store. I'm just gonna leave those like that. The noodle with the who's. I guess if I was smart, I would have extended this to here. And then we'll get that. So then we can make this. And I don't fully know what's going on inside here. So we're making it up. We make it up as we go. So that's our inner wall. Something like that. That goes that way, this goes this way. And this feels like it's a really janky angle. But we're making it up as we go. As long as everything's square, I guess it works out. And then we'll just do a little spline that we can use later as our reference. Oh no. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I know what that link is. I don't know if I can open it on stream though. Because it's definitely the make way for Willy. Alright, we got that. Yeah. Danny US. Is that anything like Danny California? I might have broke something here. There we go. Those work now. We have the cylinder that must remain intact. And we know, oh geez, that should end up being about 15 for that cable. And we do a sweep of that along here, and we call it a new body. Might want to be a bit bigger. Let's see if that breaks things. Nope, we're good. Alright, that might be a foamable heavy flamer. Boy howdy, we managed to do in just over an hour. So I think that means we're doing okay. We'll close those. We don't need those. I think it's just a matter of mirroring so many parts. Those don't need to mirror. This does. That does. And we have a big chunky flamer that we can possibly save. And we'll save it as a mesh. do it low poly export. Do that, and then we go into Pepakura. Where'd my folder go? The worst. Thought I had that one open. Oh well. The Heavy Flamer, the Pepakura. No flip. No? It's trying to make it little. Now the only problem here is that it's going to make that an absolute nightmare. And the way that I exported it in segments means that you can kind of build up individual boxes as you go. I might split some things, remove some stuff. But overall, that's not too bad. Yeah. I mean, other than it being, oh geez, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 by about as many pages just slammed into squares. That's kind of a lot of printing, but hey. Not the worst go at an unfold at all. Because basically for these, well, we don't need to figure out that a PVC pipe is over here. We just do... Yeah, okay. Those exist at a certain length. So we got that one, and that one. Where did the inset sections go? That one. Yeah, I think it just gave a lot of spacing overall. So you can much more densely pack this. I don't know. Not the worst thing ever. I could have also just left it as the half thing so that it would just mirror. Options are available though. Let's see what that does actually. If we so we do that. We'll save. Apparently I'm in an entirely different part of the storage, so that's fine. just reopen. Alright, gambling. Much more reasonable. Yeah. Still just a lot of room eaten up by the PVC pipes being unfolded. Because then that makes the grip, the box, the top. These are various parts of the fuel tank there. Yeah, that's really not bad at all. This one is... yeah, I might just say that's the one. And maybe clean it up off stream, just because no one wants to see me removing tabs and cutting out things. Maybe Oddka does, but he's kind of masochist when it comes towards Pepakura stuff. Shall we do the silly stuff and make this into what we would call a 3D print ready one? Alright, let's do, how do we make the monster energy go into this? Twist off at the base here. Cylinder. Alright, I need to hide a whole bunch of nonsense. And we said that monster energy is roughly 70, so we'll say that. Can we? They will overlap, but that is slightly wider, so we could triple pack. Okay, I'm sorry, we're not putting one monster energy into this thing. We're putting 3. I know, it'll probably break your heart that we have more energy in here. Yeah, see, you get 3 for $8 deal. I'll do that. Now, this doesn't need to be there. We need to go Monster Energy Energy label. We'll get one of these. Actually, come on. There's got to be one without. I don't want the... There we go. Oh, that's a 12 pack. That's not the can. Nobody wants blue anyway. I guess we have to have this one that has the pixel on it. Was this important to do? No. Did I want to do this? Yes. Yeah, I don't know what the mixture of white, green, and blue makes, but it's surely extra damage of some sort. You can feel the ants under your skin. Oh no. No, Ziggy, I think I'm good on the Photoshop aspect, because this is just for a silly little treat that I don't know if anyone but us in the stream will know about. I need to figure out how we do the render of it to determine if other people will see. But there we go. Momster. Now. Oh geez. Where was the top? 12, my friend. Haha. guess the problem. This won't actually work the way we think it does. Because, boy howdy, will those interfere with whatever. Is this making a biohazard symbol? Definitely feels like it. Okay, so if we want to have anything twist and lock into there, let's get a cross section. Okay. So if we do that, and then we do that, now is it easier? I'm gonna save here because I'm about to do something dumb. Let's do a threaded hee. We'll do that. Why did it go all the way up there? We'll do it as 1.5 turns. And do it as new. I think that works. And then do that minus this. And then that plus this plus that. And then, because all this needs to be printed, something like that. Something like that. And now for our final trick. Face containment can't, geez. That. That should work now. Where is my analysis? Cool. Now we just need to add some offsets so nothing falls over. Bottom. So that should give enough room for the thread. And just like that, we now have storage for our monster energy. I don't know. Is that a crime? Putting 3 monster energy juice within a prop at a convention? That feels like a lot of weight. Nah, that's not a crime. Alright. Alright, the next question. Do we also make the back of the tank so that you can also have a backpack full of monster energy? That's true. We are being considerate for people. Now, the thing that we said from the start. Because it's not Warhammer 40k unless you put funny little symbols on literally everything that you're carrying. Actually, let's be silly. No, we don't need that. We're going to Inkscape. The real crimes are the friends we make along the way. I agree. We do that. And oh good. Someone lied to me that this is not actually transparent. Good! Let's do the trace bit map treat. Heck yeah, that works. Okay. It's good enough for me. It's a little noisy. Let's turn down speckles. Let's turn down some smoothing and see how that works. Just get rid of a bunch of the noise here. Because we know how much Autodesk absolutely loves random dots in a sketch. Graphic design is our passion. $40K is the number of symbols. You joke, but man, is there so many different decals and random things that are just, yep, that's part of it. Simplify the noise. I don't even know what's going on here. Ah yes, lumpy bumpy. This is probably something that is going to slow the file down so much. Not the fact that we've added threads into how everything's calculated. No, the Monster Energy logo. Good enough for me. Okay, we're going to grab this and where are we at? Monster path. SVG is what we got. Monster path. How bad is it? Not terrible. Final check. It didn't explode everything. It definitely tried. Alright. Let's believe. We'll do a little bit of helping it here first. Should have saved. Oh. It's gonna struggle. I'm gonna save now, though. Amazing. Okay. Mamster. And oh geez. Yeah, there's no chance that was happening. It's worth a shot. Let's see if it'll let me round it over. Nope. Okay. So, add all those back together. Hopefully. Cool. Alright, that shouldn't have worked, but it did. Actually, let's not do those added in together. Alright, we're just doing it for the render. We're doing it for the render. Doing it for the render. Okay. Let's start working our way through the main body of this thing. So these are all PVC. We remember it's 2-inch PVC. So those can go live in here. Fuel tank doesn't technically need to be there. Now, if I was to 3D print this, how would I break it up into manageable chunks? How big is that? Bigger than most printers. And this one is most certainly. That to that is still bigger than most printers, right on. And yes, Ziggy, I see the save for Pete's sake. So, we do it! Now, what do we first start working on to make sure that this makes sense in a 3D printing environment? These look like a nice, easy thing to pop in that way. So, this and that can combine. Because they're the same color. That and that can combine because we're playing the color zones game. This and that are different. So that and that. Fuel line. What do we even call these? Connections? I don't know, man. This minus that. This minus that. Mossy. I'm a special boy. This was all one color if I remember correctly. It's already one part, so that's good. This... Funny fuel lines, funny fuel lines. More. Oops. Guess we don't really need the canvases since we know what we're looking at. These need a bit of offset just for the PVC. This can have that removed for our color section. That separate for now just because I want to color them differently. These can start getting chamfered though. I guess that'll be our... Ooh, do I want to do that as a twist-in connection? Maybe not. We'll have a think about that. So... maybe I do need the canvas back. What colors are things? Tiny. So the handles are all the same color there. Okay. So this should be separate from that. all that there. And then this is our... Should probably start detailing some of these things. Oop. Okay, that works. Then this minus that, so that we have a way of adding it in. I guess what we should do also is consider illumination of things. Because what's the point of a flamethrower if it doesn't also light up? Are we going with the Imperial Guard green for our color? Because I'm going to start making pieces into things that we can actually work with here. Imperial Guard green, do we go red because it goes faster? Something like that. Now, what actually is going on here? I had a feeling that this would be rounded over. Better. kind of like that. I don't know. We'll just keep finishing things as we go. What was our color for there? The main color on the handle. And then it was a steel in there. Let's play with this a little. Boo. Okay. It's just that one corner it doesn't like. Alright. Fine by me. Let's get something rubber in here for the grips. I did that all as one body. That's okay. All black oxide. And this was the same red. I think that's the breakdown for colors there. And because we know we love the 40K universe, let's get is it miscellaneous? No, of course, it's other. Big glowy buttons. In the grim darkness of the far future, big glowy buttons make everything better. And we'll just do something like that. And now that it's got red glowy buttons, I think I'm going that way. Just for some color variation in there. And part of the reason why just gonna be silly billies about that. Oh no, those came in the... Okay. At least those faces didn't get too mixed up. I hope that shows up really good on the render there. Something like that. I think those will just end up staying steel. Okay. That can become one thing. Now, button. So I got less things that I'm keeping track of here. Side panel, I'm keeping this separate so that it doesn't get mirrored. That can become one there. Same there. I did. Something like that. So those will be threaded. And we learned that they're just cones, so might as well just do a funny little cheat there. For that nozzle. Something like that. And I'm realizing that that needs to be mirrored. So what do we got here? 16. Like that. Just keep throwing detail on. And then same with these ones. We had, oh no, I know what we'll have to do. Let's make these larger so that they can just cover the PVC. Something like that, if we were smart. That way we can exclude these. And then something like that. And I guess those can become one thing as well. So we got 2 noozles. And yeah, that's fine. Let's remove those first. Roll back the timeline and make sure these actually fit. Yeah, I didn't remember what that was, but it's gone now. I guess this also wants to be at least somewhat involved in the support here. So those can all get a little bit of clearance added. A little bit of chamfer. Kind of looking like a thing. So I think all that needs now is to bring back that canvas and start figuring out this perforation pattern here. Let's cheat it just a little. point. We'll do that, and we'll do this that way, and symmetric, and then we have our measurements there. So this, we did 25 that way, and that goes there, which I think should work. If we grab all of these and start going that way, we notice that, boy howdy, did James Workshop not do things on a consistent pattern. Gosh darn it, James. Let's do it as spacing. Better? Looks better. Doesn't feel better though. Let's just go with double what we had there. And then we'll move the igniter and those and perforate like so. Grabbing all these. Maybe even the top one. Does that feel heavy flamery enough? If I was smart, I would have waited to do all the chamfering of the outside until after this and just grab the face. But I'm a silly boy. So here I go click everything. A whole 32 times. No. It doesn't like that. We'll grab the internal face and try a different size. Does James Workshop like pizza and pasta? As a silly boy? Now, if this gets broken like that, and then... Oh no, it won't let me chamfer just there. Nope. Can't do it that way. It's going to be a real meanie about that. So we just keep it. And we don't tell nobody. The secret is safe with you. Stream chat. Yeah, I'm kind of running out of stuff here. What is it yelling about there? Well, beans. Will it let me do a round over? Oops. Yep. Alright, it just doesn't want to chamfer. That's unexpected. Why did it do that? Funny furniture doing stuff. That, I think that's pretty much that, right? Other than adding electronics into it somehow. Because there's lots of places we could hide a battery pack in this thing. Thinking this panel on one side is decoration, the other opens up and becomes a battery hatch. Yeah, those are the only things that need to be mirrored now. Alright. And yeah, it's going to yell at me. Now, if I just be a lazy boy. Is there anything else in and around here? I don't think so. We got some hoses. Sure, maybe that'll be black. But I think that's everything, man. I guess we can be... Is there... Fire's not a thing. Alright. If that is not a thing, we know that in not... Is it miscellaneous? No. It's miscellaneous, not other, of course. Sure, we'll put a light bulb in there. It doesn't feel like it changed anything. Move it towards orange. And crank up the luminance. And if we take it into Renderland, do we get... We got something. Don't need those. Let's do our scene settings. Oop. Everyone loves Renderland. Just for the sake of Renderland. Add some more color variation in here. Alright, now we know that this is going to be a little intensive just because we have the power of light bulbs and LEDs and monster energy. So what we'll do is we'll hit go, we'll do our best, then we'll hit go again with the bottom segments of the can removed so that we don't have to worry about everything falling over. So, good luck everyone. Actually, it's not too bad. Oh jeez. Oh no. Goodbye audio. I can already tell. Oh no. Some music's fine. Alright. So, my problem here. I'm cutting that render out because the flashlight bulb, not doing it for me. Comes out much too white light. So, we're saying this is green. Remember how that's green? No, actually, it's orange. Alright. We're gonna try it again. Good luck, everyone. Oh, it came up green. That's supposed to be orange. Well, it's the Monster Energy can. Is the music still going? This doesn't seem as intense. Alright. We're grabbing that. And then we're doing that. And fuel tank. We just need to remove those. And we'll render again. Does it? Oh dear. This one's gonna kill it. Oh dear. It's really struggling. We'll let it get close to excellent quality. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go much further than that. I don't know. I think that's good. Do we show that we have 3 Monster Energy cans in here? That is chunking away. Alright, we'll call this 3 for $8 deal. Yippee! I don't know why that was still green on the LED. Because that's very orange, but something silly. I think I'm pretty happy with that. With the only other thing that we need to do here would be doing some cable routing. Just so that we can run things from these boxes into the front. So that might be a little bit of cleanup later, but for the most part, I think we're there. Yeah, I think we called the stream a little earlier than usual. And I'll go clean these up today and have it on for grabs later on today. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. For us, it's Pikmin Community Day, so we gotta go get our 10K in. And yeah, tabletop weekend. Go do the thing. Make sure the kids have the health care they need. Maybe don't feed them 3 cans of energy drink. But until, I guess not next weekend, we'll see if we can do a stream remote from the convention. Maybe can talk some folks into setting up a camera and a connection for streaming one of the panels. But no guarantees. We'll see what we can figure out there. So if we don't see you next week, week after, we'll figure out a theme. Maybe it'll be more tabletop weekend stuff. So I love y'all. Maybe we'll see you next week. But for now, goodbye. Make good choices. Ending.